Hey, this is Jose with Freedom Mentoring, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how society's expectations are ruining your life. Before we jump into the video, as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything new, and if anything resonates here, share this with someone and tell them to subscribe to the channel too. So let's just jump right into this. Now, society's expectations are getting in the way of you living a truly abundant and a truly free life. Why? You might ask, why? There's a lot of reasons, but especially in a place like the United States, there are fundamental things that were done intentionally to misalign you and create unconsciousness, okay? When I talk about alignment, I mean like spiritual, emotional alignment with who you really are, and there's certain aspects of society today that we're living in right now that have created such deep unconsciousness in people, and that is exactly why you are not living abundant and free, okay? So, take inventory of yourself. If you're not doing exactly what you want, if you're not waking up with a sense of purpose, if you aren't feeling fulfilled on a very deep level, even if you are going through challenges, even if you are experiencing issues, even if you are experiencing like a very emotionally turbulent phase in your life, all those things are part of the human experience, but at the end of the day, it's worth it, and you feel grateful, and you feel passionate, and you feel lots of love and gratitude. I said great, gratitude already. Joy and peace of mind, okay? So you can experience the full range of emotions of being a human, but at the same time have peace of mind. And society has robbed that from you. Society has taken that away from you, and it is your job to wake up and get it back. And here are what society has done, and hopefully this will kind of jog your spirit and jog your soul a little bit so that you can take back control. And this is, by the way, this is exactly why I talk about freedom so much, because freedom is ultimately what humans want, okay? Freedom is what we want. And society has wired us to go after things like money or status or prestige, fame, accolades, achievement, even chasing women and chasing men if you're a woman, right? Chasing women, chasing men. They've taught to go for like looks and things like that, right? And so just look at social media. Look at the state of the world today. People are trying so hard to be something that they're not, right? People are trying so hard to be something that they're not. And the biggest thing that has robbed you of that spiritual alignment is, one of the biggest things is the education system that we came up in, okay? So if you think about the current education system of like public schools and even to an extent private schools, the way these systems are educating young people, first off, it was created, they were largely influenced by the Rockefeller Foundation, which was created over 100 years ago. And this was, the Rockefeller Foundation was, Rockefeller was the guy who owned Standard Oil, was one of the first billionaires, if not I think he was the first billionaire, and in the 1800s. And he created the Rockefeller Foundation, and their sole intention was to create a system that, create an education system for young people that created worker bees, right? For people to like plug into a corporate system, and they can go like basically use that person's life in order to like make more profits and to produce, whatever for society. And so literally like the system that we grew up in was created so that you can become a worker bee. Think about like high school and middle school. What are we taught there? We're taught facts, we're taught logical things, we're taught languages and social studies and historical facts and science. How does biology work? How does chemistry work? And then we're taught mathematics and physics and stuff, right? And all those things are very, very important. However, school leaves out a major, major component, and personally, I don't even think that they should be allowed to do this because they'd probably fuck that up too, but they don't teach like spiritual alignment, soul alignment, emotional control, real psychology, right? Like I took AP psychology in high school, and it was useful, but it was a lot of like surface level factual information, which again, it was useful, but there's like the application of psychology and how it relates to life, how it relates to how it creates your life, okay? And so, by the way, like advanced placement physics is an elective, so most students don't do it, right? So you get my point here, right? Society has, the education system has literally been manipulated to create worker bees. And so you go to high school, then you graduate, and you're expected to go to college and go get a 4-year degree. And then if you're really smart, if you're really a hard worker, you'll go get a master's degree. And if you really like the fucking shit. If you're really like ambitious about it, you go for the 8 or 10 year degree and go get a PhD or, some other upper level graduate education. And so, by the way, like I have 2 bachelor's degrees. And so I understand, like I am a product of this as well. However, I intentionally went through this because I wanted to experience it for myself. I was the first person in my family to graduate from a 4-year university from my immediate family. Okay, so we're taught to, go to school, go to college, go specialize in something. And then once you're like leaving college, go get a good job, right? Go apply to as many places as you can and go with the one that gives you the best offer. Right? And then when you get that job, go work for like another 40 years, right? And in that 40 years, you'll find a nice girl to settle down with, right? Someone who's like, mediocre and just kind of like, just fits your life. And then you have a couple kids, right? Have 3-4 kids at most, right? And get like a nice little house in the suburbs and, just go work for 40 years, maybe take a couple vacations per year, drive some okay cars. And, wait for Friday, and as soon as Friday happy hour rolls around, go get some drinks with your friends, and then, go get some drinks again on the weekend and go watch some games, and just do that, right? Like, just go do that things. And they're not bad things. However, it's the human experience is so much deeper in that, and there's so much being left out if that's what your life is, okay? And so, we're literally taught and trained to do this for 40, 50 years, and then you retire, and then you can go out and experience freedom, right? And then when you're like 60 and you're out of energy and like you got a bunch of grandkids and stuff, then you can go have freedom and start to travel the world and do stuff that you actually like, okay? So you kind of get the point, right? Like it sounds, to me at this point, it sounds like a fucking miserable existence. For the average person, it sounds pretty good. However, I'm here to live an extraordinary life, and I'm here to surround myself by people who also want to do that as well. And if you're looking to live an extraordinary life, you have to look at these systems for what they are and understand that they are, number one, they're designed to like keep you mediocre and like barely just getting by, right? The median income for households in the United States is $55,000, right? And I live in downtown Miami. $55,000 doesn't get you a shit here, all right? It's literally not enough to even live like in my area. So number one, understand that it's not meant for you to win big time. It's meant for you to just get by. That's the system we were raised in. And the truth of the matter is, if you go after money and if you go after status and if you go after those things solely, right, and you chase women and if you're a woman, you chase men, right? If you do those things solely, I'm telling you right now, you are in for a very unfulfilling life, okay? Humans at our core, we have mind, body, and soul, okay? So, in school, barely taught us about mind, right? And it was all mind activity, and they barely taught us about our bodies as well, right? Think about like McDonald's, like one of the most profitable companies in the world. There's a McDonald's on every fucking corner. It's very telling of what people eat. And this literally blocks you from thinking clearly. Right? When you open your eyes and you wake the fuck up, it's very, very clear that society is not designed for you to win. Okay, so people, they'll go after the money, they'll go after the status, they'll go after the fame, they'll go after men and women, and they'll go after like that type of thing, and then they finally get those and they're not fulfilled. Well, it's because they're not acknowledging the soul level. They're not acknowledging their emotions at a very deep level. They're doing things because that's what they were told was the cool thing. That's what they were told was going to make them feel good about themselves. And then you get there and you might feel good about yourself a little bit, but something's not right. Something is missing. And look at things like social media, look at TV. All of these things are designed to create an unrealistic expectation of what's going to give you the good life. Okay, think about they're promoting entertainers on TV, like everybody's fucking like gorgeous and amazing looking, right? Like, you're literally taught that like the things that are the most desirable is like money, status, and wealth, and height, and good looks, and amazing physiques, and all those things. And the truth of the reality is like those things are a byproduct of someone who already has spiritual alignment. Okay, so those things are already a byproduct of someone who knows themselves very, very deep. You see, it's not bad to go after those things. It's not wrong to go after money and go make a lot of money. I make a lot of money. I'm really into health and my physique. I love socializing with a lot of people. Those things really, really are fun to me and they are worthwhile. However, I did the opposite of what society taught us to do, right? Society taught us to just go for those things. I did the opposite, and I spent years, literally years, getting to know myself and mastering myself. Okay, I opened up I woke up and I opened up my spirit and my emotions to who I really was, because I felt something was always off, right? I spent a good amount of time, especially while I was in university, chasing all those things: money, status, women, all these things that I got them, and then it just felt empty. It felt empty on the inside. And there's so many people that share this same experience. Think about like all the celebrities in the past decade that have committed suicide, right? Think about all the famous entertainers in Hollywood that are committing suicide as well. Some of them you can say that this conspiracy theory stuff as well, but like, you know, the reality of it is, look at some of the biggest billionaires, some of the richest people in the world this year got divorced, right? Divorce isn't like a walk in the park. You don't just like wake up one day and say, fuck this, I just want a divorce. No, it's like divorces are very, very tumultuous, and usually it's like a very last resort type of thing. Okay, so for people who are like world-class influencers and like influencers of literally economies, governments, and politics, getting a divorce is a very big deal. And so, if money was the solution, if fame was the solution, if acknowledgement and prizes and accolades and all this validation was a solution, then the richest people who have those things would be super fucking happy. But a lot of times it's a very, very empty life, and it's society has created this on purpose. Okay, think about the way humans are created. Think about the way humans live for literally thousands and tens of thousands, and pretty much this is how humans lived forever up until maybe a couple centuries ago. We were in smaller tribes, right? We were in smaller communities. The average tribe, like think back to the caveman days, the average tribe had about 150 people. So it's not like you weren't meeting tens of thousands of people in a lifetime, right? Like I personally, in the last 3 years, I've met well over 15,000 people. I did a count, like a rough count of it, right? I don't know exactly, but I did a rough count of it. That's so many interactions. That's so much trading energy with people. So we grew up in these smaller environments, and then it's like, people weren't like worried about money, and like people weren't like, we were just free. And of course there was like the threat of death, and there was like, it was an uncivilized society in a lot of ways. People were dying all the time. People died very young, right? But in that time, it's like people were celebrating, right? People were celebrating life. They were dancing under the stars, and they were making love with their partner just fully, unapologetically. And then when they would fight, when there was war, they would kill. And it was a very human experience, and brutal in a lot of ways, right? But that was life, right? People were tuned into that animalistic experience that humans are. Nowadays, we're just like this watered down fucking like silly putty version of what we used to be. I think in a lot of ways, like our ancestors would look at us and be like, what the fuck? Like, as far as you guys have come, this is the norm. This is like the average person. No. And so, if society's expectations of this shit are getting in the way of you, right? Like, what does society want us, especially as a man, right? Like, what does society want us to do, right? Look at the way society is going right now. They just want us to conform. They just want us to sit down and just allow everyone else to make our decisions for us. They want to take your sovereignty away. They want to take your freedoms away, because they're looking for control and they're looking for power, okay? And even if that's not the case, they think you're too stupid to make your own fucking decisions. No, wake the fuck up, okay? If society's expectations are ruining your life, what I'm telling you right now is you need to like search deeper, like turn inward. Understand yourself, go for mastery, don't go for money, don't go for status, don't go for fame, don't go for women, don't go for validation, go for mastery, right? Master yourself, okay? Master yourself deep down on the inside, understand yourself on a spiritual level, on a soul level, understand your emotions, understand your psychology, and then it's like, from a place of being really connected to who you are, then you can go master like a skill or a craft, because now it's like that skill or craft that you are mastering is actually in alignment with who you really are, right? So, go master yourself, master a skill, and then the money, and then the fame, and then the praise, the acknowledgement, all that stuff follows. All that stuff will soon follow, right? You don't have to wait 40, 50 years to have freedom and retire. You can do that within a few years' time if you do these things properly, and if you go completely against what society is telling us to do, okay? So very few people will do this, but the ones that do will enjoy lives of peace, love, gratitude, and they'll just live, they'll win. That's actual winning, by the way. That's real winning. It's not that money and fame and all these things mean you're a loser if you get them, but if that's the only thing that you're going for, what an empty life that is, okay? Real winning is knowing yourself deep down on the inside, sharing love, sharing abundance, sharing passion, sharing intimacy, and sharing that with people that love you and reciprocate that as well. And when you get to that point in your life and all you're surrounded by is like amazing people who are connected to themselves and just so much love to give, and everybody's sharing with each other, and everybody's winning. It's not just like the people at the top, everybody's fucking winning. That's a beautiful and amazing thing, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And if you've got any questions on this, go ahead and comment them on the video. Reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. And that's it for me right now. Hopefully that really resonates. And the biggest thing I think, we're in a crazy time right now, and it's the people that have like this level of knowledge and mastery of themselves are the ones who are going to like not only capitalize on this like crazy uncertain time, but they're the ones who will be the future leaders of industry, the future leaders of the world. Okay, so who are you going to be? Which one are you going to be? Okay, I'll talk to you soon, and peace out.